Hello everyone. I am here today to talk to you about session 23 entitled Internal Company Methodology and Standard. There are 5 objectives to be covered in this session. The following objectives are: define what service standards, quality, total quality management, and metrics are, identify the difference between service quality and service standards, and their importance to the organization. Explain what is total quality management is and its principle. Differentiate metrics and key performance indicators. Enumerate and discuss common metrics in the service committee. Now to start our session, this session will be a 3-part series. First part is introduction to service standards, second is total quality management, and third is key performance indicators. Let us start to the first part. Each organization has its own type of service standard to give a quality service to their customers. Now, what really is a service standard? Or what is a service quality? Let us check their definition. First, let us define service quality. Service quality is a quality which describes the way an organization serves customers which lead to their satisfaction. For example, you are the customer and you have come inside a mall. So, you go inside the mall. As you go inside the mall, you find a display of products outside. So you go inside. As you go inside and look at the products, there are workers. And one worker have come to your aid on what would you need, what do you need to find. So, as a customer, you feel satisfied and this is a service quality. This is a good quality of service. As you are satisfied with the quality of service, which lead a good sign for the organization, and they will keep up the consistency of how do they serve a customer. Now, to define service standard, a service standard is a behavior needed to provide a service aimed to be achieved and maintained, measured in terms of the corresponding performance indicators, service levels, and target. Now, let me explain to you in my own words. I think a company will give instructions to their workers on how they approach the customers, on how do they deal with them, how do they approach, or what would they do if a problem rises up. As they are prepared, they can give a quality service on the customers and the customers will feel satisfied. Now for the next slide, there are 5 examples of service quality equivalent to a service standard. An example for service quality equivalent to service standard. The first service quality is to be reliable. It has an equivalent service standard of an organization. For example, in a service bank, the money which is being sent by the customer is secured in the vault inside the bank until it is being withdrawn by the customer. The second service quality is responsive, has equivalent service standard in an organization, for example, a BPO company. After the 3 rings of the telephone, the agent shall pick up the call. The third service quality have empathy. A service organization shall have, for example, in a mall, a mother lost his son. The worker shall help make the mother come and help him find their son. Do not make her feel uncomfortable. Fourth, service quality be presentable. It has equivalent service standard of an organization. For example, in a law firm, a lawyer should be presentable always as it interacts with a customer, so the customer can have full respect and can give his or her own problem to the lawyer, so the lawyer can help him. Fifth, consistency service quality. It has equivalent service standard in a service organization, for example, in a restaurant. All the food quality should be consistent. With this example, you can find the difference between service quality and service standard. Now, why service standards is important to an organization? According to an article by Zendesk, a blog website, in an age of rising customer expectations, a time when the customer relationship is paramount, companies must set parameters of what quality service looks like or else suffer the consequences in the marketplace. It is a good management tool for the managers as it helps them manage the members on how they confront the customer, and there will be no mistake will be taken as you give them instruction on how they provide service to the customer, which the customers will be satisfied of the quality service given to them. Service standard is important to an organization because it gives you a clear path on how you should give a quality service to your customers. It is also a good management tool on how are the target levels of services being met by your members. Next, let's proceed for the 7 criteria for effective service standards. According to Karen Leland and Keith Bailey of Sterling Consulting Group Incorporated and authors of Customer Service for Dummies, these 7 criteria make a service standard effective. The 7 criteria for effective customer service standards. First, specific. Standards tell service people precisely what is expected of them. Customers don't have to guess about your expectations or make anything up. 2. Concise. Standards don't explain the philosophy behind the action. Instead, they get right to the point and spell out who needs to do what by when. Third, measurable. Because actions in the standard are all specific criteria. They are observable and objective, which make them easy to quantify. 4. Based on the customer requirements. Standards need to be based on customer requirements and not just your industry standards. Fulfilling your customers' expectations give you an advantage over competitors that do not. 5th, written into job descriptions and performance reviews. If you want employees to adhere to these standards, then write them down and make them part of each employee job description and performance review. Using standards as a management tool gives them more credibility. 6. Jointly created with your staff. The best standards are created by management and staff together based on their mutual understanding of customer needs. You may need to consider using quality groups as a vehicle for having members of your staff come up with service standards. 7. Fairly enforced. Standards that are enforced with some people and do not will quickly erode. Company standards require everybody to conform to them, including the top brass. Department-specific standards apply to everyone within the department, including the manager. What is Total Quality Management? Total Quality Management, or TQM, is the continual process of detecting, reducing, or eliminating errors in manufacturing, streamlining supply chain management, improving the customer experience, and ensuring the employees are up to speed with training. For further explanation, TQM is a structured approach to overall organizational management that focuses on the process to improve the quality of an organization's output, including goods and services, through continual improvement of internal practices. The standard sets as a part of the TQM approach can reflect both internal priorities and any industry standards currently in place. TQM can be summarized as a management system for a customer-focused organization that involves all employees in continual improvement. It uses strategy, data, and effective communication to integrate the quality discipline into the culture and activities of the organization. Many of these concepts are present in a modern quality management system, the successors to TQM. Here are the 8 principles of total quality management. First is strategic, systematic approach, customer-focused, process-centered, fact-based decision-making, continual improvement, total employee involvement, integrated system, and communications. These 8 elements are considered so essential to TQM that many organizations define them, in some format, as a set of core values and principles on which the organization is to operate. After the 8 principles of TQM, we shall now proceed to the last part of this series, which is the key performance indicators. But first of all, we must differentiate metrics and KPIs. First of all, what is metrics? Metrics are any standard of measurement. To explain further, I would like to give an example. In a meter, there is 100 centimeter. In a 1 kilometer, there's 1,000 meters. All these examples show a standard measure, which means it is a kind of metrics. Next, let us define key performance indicators or KPIs. KPIs are metrics that give an indication of an organization's performance and can be used as a driver for improvement. For further explanation, I have a short video prepared for you all to watch.
Key performance indicators, KPI, measure success in attaining predetermined goals. In for-profit enterprises, goals can involve producing the highest quality goods or services while maintaining profit. KPIs might include sales, customer satisfaction, percentage of returning customers, and the percentage of defective goods manufactured. For a publicly traded company, stock price is the best KPI for measuring how well management maximizes shareholder value. Revenue growth is another frequently used KPI, especially for early-stage companies. However, KPIs are not just company-wide. Each department within a company also has its own KPIs. One effective KPI for the accounting department is the receivables turnover ratio, which has a direct impact on collections and the company's cash reserves. Every department's KPIs must contribute to the company-wide KPIs. Government entities can have KPIs as well. An example of a KPI for a school district is the number of students who graduate and go on to college. KPIs must be quantifiable in order to be effective. For example, the level of company morale is important, but because morale is very difficult to measure in hard numbers, it's not considered a company KPI. Finally, for a KPI to work properly in guiding company behavior, the parties who will be judged by the KPI must have control over the KPI inputs.
Have you learned a lot from the short video? Now let us proceed to the steps in developing service standard. Now these are the 4 steps for developing service standard. Step 1. Define your service sequences. Step 2. Map out the steps. Step 3. Determine your experience enhancers. And Step 4. Convert your experience enhancers into standards. Following these 4 steps will help you develop a service standards that can help you satisfy a customer. Now that we covered the following metrics versus KPIs and the steps on developing service standards, let us proceed to the goals and performance drivers. What is goals? Goals are measurable business objectives that reflect the organization's mission and vision. What is performance driver? Performance drivers are measured processes and behaviors that influence achieving the organization's goals. Goals and performance drivers helps an organization to grow big, as goals is the finish line and performance driver are the way to go to the finish line and make the company organization reach their own goals. To end this session, I will introduce the common KPIs in a service organization. First, attendance and adherence. As a member of service organization, you should always be present to your work days and have commitment on your own work. Second, training compliance. The service organization will always provide the training services to their members. As a member, you should join the training exercise and learn to upgrade your own way of giving services. Third, service level. As a member, your service level to any customers you have encountered should have a high level. Fourth, quality. The quality service you provide them should satisfy the customer. Fifth, first call resolution. In a service organization, as soon as a call has go in, you should resolve the problem as fast as you can. 6. Customer satisfaction. As all the training you have received and all the experiences you have encountered, your performance shall satisfy the customer needs. Now that we are finished with this session, I hope all the objectives has been accomplished. Thank you all for listening.